G'day folks and welcome to another episode of The Breakdown brought to you by Newstead Brewing, where we're back filming this week. My name's Brendan Sauce and Jaybor from Queensland Rugby, and joining me as always is commentary regular Jaybor Staunton, and our special guest this week. He's a Brothers legend, played plenty of Premier grade games there. He's now the Director of Rugby, Ryan Shultz. How are we, gents?
Good, Sauce. Thanks for having me.
Living the dream, Sauce. I got to ask you though, what's doing with the sexy little blue number on your melon?
Well, mate, I've just come back from a trip out west, mate. Been in Roma, visiting the mighty Echidnas Club out there. Ran into a few former Premier grade greats, Dan Stumpy Sutherland from Norths, and then Bright, I believe he was your third grade number 10 last year.
Yeah, some good humans out there.
Yeah, mate, awesome club out there. Really good visit, but been looking forward to getting back and filming the breakdown with you guys. So let's jump into it, because round 16 was an absolute belter, and we'll kick things off, mate. QQ. Got the wood over you blokes on the weekend, mate, by 1 point, 36-35. What do you take out of that one?
It was obviously a pretty belter of a game. I think in the end, UQ probably wanted it a little bit more than what we did. Their season was on the line, must-win game. Had a few of the Reds returning, a few of the stalwarts in form, and we just went good enough in the day.
Mate, do you reckon it's a bit of a case of, you guys will let teams into the first half and then come back and play an awesome second half of footy and got the W probably for the last month or so, and it just didn't work out together that way on the weekend?
Well, as the defence coach, these first halves have been killing me. I'm trying to put a finger on it. In the end, I think it's just an attitude occasionally. We've sort of been up and performing for so long now, an extended period of time. We're coming into oppositions that have greater motivations at the moment, so it's a really, really good wake-up call for the Brothers boys. I'm really excited to see how they respond this week.
Awesome. Well, big clash of weights. But Jay, mate, you've been pretty critical of UQ over the last few weeks, mate, but had to eat your words on the weekend, mate.
Yeah, I saw this coming. Big time. That's 6 in a row for Uni, and they've been absolutely awesome over that 6 weeks. It's been hard graft, but on the weekend it was the Uni of old. They were scoring tries from long range. They were absolutely running Brothers off the park, who were notorious for probably being the fittest team in the competition. And they were able to outlast them for the full 80, 85 odd minutes because it started to wear on there. So credit to them. I think the big thing for them is getting guys like James Marlin and Pat Fukuli back. On the weekend, they decimated your scrum, and that's something that has just absolutely given Jimmy Dalgleish and Alex Horan that front foot ball, and they are just taking it with both hands.
Well, mate, it wasn't just a scrum. The line out, Harry Hawkins, massive game in terms of line out steals, and then out wide, Jock Campbell. But while the UQ boys, mate, made you eat your words, mate, the Doggies, they came through on the weekend, mate, with a massive win over Bond. 37-12. Did you see that one coming?
No, because I picked Bond on the breakdown last week, so clearly I'm a massive hack. But no, it was great to see the Doggies get up. That was the sort of footy that they can play, and that's everybody knows that for the better part of almost 2 months they haven't been able to ice those games. On the weekend they just absolutely smoked Bond straight from the first kick-off. Bond weren't even in that at all, and they've shot their whole season to bits, and West are looking like, if results go their way, they could go into the finals very easily.
That's one I didn't pick either. I've been a big fan of Bond recently. Obviously they've been in fine form, but statistically they're one of the best defensive teams, and they also play a brand of footy that is hard to defend. They love playing with width, they love having options either side of the footy. So I was really surprised on the weekend with their performance.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Bond now in the next few weeks. I mean, mathematically, I think they can still slip in, but they need other results to go their way, which makes it hard. But, I mean, for the Doggies, mate, was it just a case of the boys would cheat up for Hunter Thomas's 400?
Oh, God. Well, I don't know. Look, if it was, I've got to admit, it was absolutely heaving out there. For a team travelling up from Bond, from the Gold Coast, you typically don't get the biggest crowds, but there was a massive amount of support out there for HT, so that was good, and I think, maybe people did step up, but more than anything, it just started to click for them, and they just absolutely smoked them straight off that first kickoff, as I said.
What about the Quirinal acting as Hunter's personal dating service, mate?
Mate, he's a one-man PR machine, so he doesn't need Tinder or anything. He'll be sweet, just get another full page in the Courier Mail, and he'll be good as gold.
Do you reckon he's going to get them laminated and just stroll down to the valley or something like that?
I'm sure he's already done it.
Yeah,
100%.
Perfect.
100%.
Is he up in his bedroom as well?
Yeah. Above his bed.
Well, we'll keep moving. Jeep Sunnybank. the Gallopers just got up here 27-20. This was a narrow one. You guys have obviously got GPS and the Welsby Cup Clash this weekend. Schultz, you would have watched this match very closely.
Yeah, I think it's the story of sort of Sunnybank season, especially after the coach change. They've actually been a very competitive side. Without getting the bickies. Watching Jeeps today, doing a preview for the weekend. I think that in the end their force is dominated. Sunnybank were able to sort of stay in the game through the likes of Isaac Lucas and some of their quality outside bats. But I also thought their forwards were quite physical as well. Took it to the Jeeps back. But in the end, we all know how good they are, how much footy they played together. Yeah, they were just a little bit too good, I think.
You mentioned Isaac Lucas there. Jay, you commentated his last Premier Grade game this year, which was against Norths over at Norths, and it was the Lucas show that day. What did you make of his return to Prem Rugby, mate, after the junior Wallabies duties?
He's an absolute freak. He is. He's legitimate in his skill base. His ability somehow, he's tiny. He's so small compared to other players out there, but his ability to break that first, if not second tackle, is second to none. He can step in a phone box. His kicking game is so underrated, but it's so smart. He doesn't kick long if he doesn't have to. He picks and chooses his battles, and his ability to step into first receiver, he's the complete package. Great defender, great attacker, great kicker, great runner, everything. So he's an absolute gun. But I think, Shultz hit the nail on the head. Sunnybank have been so good in the past 6 weeks since Ev's taken over. And guys like Dylan Mahongi and Lloyd Gorman, they're playing the best footy they've played all year, because I think there's a bit of belief there at Sunnybank, and obviously this year's off the books, but if they can keep this form and some of these players for next season, there's no reason why they can't be back to the lofty heights they were a couple of years ago.
Yeah, well, I think Sunnybank being that close to Jeeps still shows that in these next few games where they've got East and Bond to finish the season, they could potentially have a real impact on whether those two teams are going to finish in the top four. We've spoken about it the last couple of weeks, but with the likes of Isaac Lucas back, I think Josh Arthur is going to come back from a calf injury he got playing touch at Ballymore on a Wednesday morning. Old dog suffering from a bit of age issues, but those guys coming back into the team, they're going to be a serious threat. We'll talk more about Brothers Jeeps later in the episode, because obviously we're all pumped for that one. But the final match to have a look at, East defeated Norths 35-26. Great day down at Tigerland. Return of Benny Moe and the prodigal son. Jay, mate, what did you make of this clash?
This was, Norths are very much at the same track as Sunnybank. They've been in a position in the past month to be able to win games that really, on paper, they shouldn't be anywhere near. And they should have won this game. If it wasn't for the East forward pack eventually getting on top of Norths, you couldn't help but think that they would have snatched this one from them out there at Tigerland. But credit to the Tigers that they know how to win tough games, and they've been doing it all year. Those games where it looks like they're out and they can sort of pull it from the fire. So they're definitely going to be a team to look out for come finals time, especially when it starts to toughen up. They're a team that their forward pack can really step up and start to bully some teams.
I think have a look at the highlights of that game. Great package you put up, a bit of Fijian connections there. So Bookie, give a shout out to the little fella, and Stefan Olalu. Some outstanding highlights, some of the line breaks and opportunities that Bookie created for Seth, and the poor East fullback that had no chance stopping him in that last line. It's good to watch.
No, mate, it's interesting to see how much this North side spikes up and flies when you drop a couple of key guys back in. Previously in the season it's been Doug Power, Matty McGann, and then you see on the weekend you put Sefer in that side, and what they're able to achieve. For the Tigers on the weekend, I think it was impressive to see the way that they bounced back and covered up for losing Jack Frampton in training on Thursday night. He's obviously a big loss to the finals. Shout out to Jack for hopefully what's going to be a quick recovery. But a timely return in terms of Ben Mullen coming in that second half. Joe, what impact do you reckon he had coming in off the bench to help bring it home?
He doesn't, don't take this the wrong way, but he doesn't do much on the field by way of, physicality or anything like that, because he doesn't necessarily have to. You've got Freddie Futrell, Tom Milosevic, they're the ones throwing their body on the line and stuff like that. What you could see when he came on, he's very smart at picking and choosing his battles, and you almost just sort of see him as that guy that does the link play. He was the guy that was hitting a breakdown when it looked like they were about to lose it. It was small things that obviously you get from being a Wallaby captain and a 15, 16 year professional career. So for a team that has a lot of youngsters that are very raw, like Freddie Futrell and stuff like that, him being in that fold is going to be massive for him, especially if they make finals, because they're going to be right front and centre in the boiler room, and he's the sort of level head that could really help him out.
It'll be interesting to see if we can get him dispensated for finals. He could be running water.
Either way, he's still in the mix up.
This is true. We've locked away our final spots in 4th grade, mate. So
that's
happy days.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for round 16. Let's throw forward to round 17. This weekend, the first clash to have a look at, North v Bond at Hugh Corney Oval, Bunter Bowl on the line. When the Bunter Bowl was introduced, the whole idea of this was to create games later in the season interesting, whether or not teams were going to be in finals or not. And for the Eagles, they've potentially got a chance to finish the season with some silverware.
Loose. That is so loose, man. Oh no, this is going to be a great game though. Actually, like Norths again, they're playing a good brand of footy, and when they put Jordan Luke up at a fly half on the weekend, you can see his first intention is triple cut out. Let's go for it, because when you've got so much talent on those fringes, it's a shame not to use them, and it works for them. But as Shultz said before, Bond play very much the same brand of footy. So if Norths can plug up the leaky ship that is their defence, this will be a tight one, and this will be a bloody good game of footy.
It should be a cracking game, I think. I think Norths might be a little bit of a smoky here, because Bond are the ones under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing an expansive style of footy, but that comes with risk. Where Norths have got nothing to lose. Still got those key players probably in their starting lineup. So it should be a cracking game of footy, I reckon.
I'm backing Norths in this one as well.
Yeah, last home game at Hugh Corney Oval. I'm sure that the North faithful up on the north side are all sure to turn out. It's going to be a big afternoon there. Now, South v West at South. This is 2 teams playing for their season. Shultz, you've probably seen brother size in positions like this before, mate. How big of a challenge is this match going to be for these 2 teams?
It shouldn't be a challenge at all, I don't think. If they're playing for their season, and there's nothing more to get motivated for or excited for. So I think both teams are quality teams on their day. Probably struggled a little bit with consistency throughout the year, but season's on the line. They've got some quality players throughout the pack, but also the back line. So it should be another belter of a game, I reckon.
No, it'll be a big one. It's Old Boys Day down at South as well, so the South faithful was sure to be out in force, but a little bit of inside info, Jay, that I'm not sure if this is going to come to fruition, but if it does, it's massive for the doggies. Geordie Pateo.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I was on the comeback trail. Mate, Jordan Patea's all right as well, I guess. But if he comes in the mix, then lights out. I'd love to see him go toe-to-toe with Chris Vale or Sortier. That'd be so sick.
True. No, that'd be a good matchup.
I reckon it'll be absolutely awesome. Don't know if it's going to happen. Don't hold us to that, of course, but I'm backing the doggies no matter what. They've got the bye next weekend, so if they don't win this weekend, you can pretty much rule them out. So it's do or die for them.
It's going to be an awesome game. Now, the next one, Sunnybank v Easts, down at Old Mac Oval. Sunnybank's last home game of the year. Tigers, a must-win game if they're going to want to feature in the top 4. Obviously, they've got Brothers next week, which is definitely a really tough challenge to finish the season. Shultz, if you were the Tigers heading into this one, how would you prepare for this game, mate?
I'll be holding the footy. You wouldn't want to be giving Sunnybank the ball. So valuing possession, hopefully tiring their big forward pack out, and minimising any opportunities that their backline can have with the likes of Lucas and McNamara's and those sort of boys. The last thing you want to be doing is giving them opportunities in open space or on transition. So value possession, I'd be Falls East. I'd be using my big forward pack and grinding them down.
Yeah.
Agreed. I just think Sunnybank are due for a win. It's their last home game. They've literally been in the fight for the last 6 weeks in a row and just can't pull it out of the fire. So I can't see Ev just letting them let that one slip. So I think they're going to fire on the day, and if they do, watch out, because they could go absolutely hammer and toll on the Tigers. So I'm going to back them in.
All right, well, I'll back the Tigers, as I do every week. Now, the match of the round this week, this is the one, Jay, that we have been talking about since the halfway point of the season, the Welsby Cup game between Brothers and Jeeps. How pumped are you for this one, mate?
Oh, I cannot wait for this one. Welsby Cup, Old Boys Day out at Brothers. You've got 1 versus 2. It's absolutely massive, and it's the second last round of the season. You almost couldn't script it any better. So this one's going to be absolutely huge, especially considering Jeeps haven't necessarily been on fire the way they were when they took on you blokes in the first round, and you guys are coming off a loss. So this one's going to be feisty. This one's going to go absolutely burko, but I think Brothers are going to come away with it.
Shultz, I'm sure you think Brothers are going to come away with it, mate. But
That's the plan. Yeah.
looking at it, mate, from a coaching point of view, mate, where do you reckon Jeeps have got threats that are going to be a challenge for your side this weekend?
The set piece battle will be huge. Yep. We all know Jeeps play off the back of their scrum, and also their line out and their maul. So they really utilise the strong forward pack they got. But I guess we've learnt lessons from last time we played them. We've learnt lessons from hopefully the loss last week in UQ. So as a coach, you want to sort of be involved with these sort of games, and I'm sure the players are pretty excited too. And I'm just excited to see how our boys bounce back and start hopefully getting to that sort of finals sort of style of performances that we expect of them.
Yeah, mate, we saw a big red headline up in the Centres Forum last week, mate, and it wasn't me. It was Campbell Magnay, mate. If he plays on the weekend, how much of a challenge do you reckon he is out in those wider channels for your boys to contain?
He's obviously a quality player from a professional outfit, but outside backs are only as good as the ball they get. So
true.
I think, as I sort of already stated, I think the battle's going to be won in the forwards, and that's not just a set piece, but we'll be around the park as well. And I'm predicting it's going to be a pretty brutal affair. The most physical and dominating team will hopefully win.
No, well, I think everyone's pretty excited for this one. Game kicks off at 5 p.m, so it's a later kick-off. So even if you're a supporter of another club and you're out supporting them at 3:20, then head on over to Crosby Park and get around this game. It's going to be massive, and Shultz might put on some beers. We'll wait and see.
Good man.
Butchery will be open as well.
Butchery will be open, okay. All right, folks. Well, that's it for this week's episode of The Breakdown. Thanks for joining me, Jay and Shultz.
Thanks, Sauce.
You love it, Sauce.
You know it, mate. All right, folks. Well, round 17 of the Newstead Brewing Hospital Challenge Cup awaits this weekend. It's going to be a massive round of footy. Get out and show your support for your club, and make sure, in the meantime, that you stay tuned for more Premier Rugby updates via the Facebook page.